What's up, good people?
What's up, good people, and welcome back to the Elephant Wisdom Podcast. I am your host, Hark Joseph L., CEO of Sons of SP Phillips. Before we begin, I want to let you know the Elephant Wisdom is your podcast for motivation, inspiration, and domination. So dominate or don't. It is totally up to you. Today's episode is something truly special. We are joined with a powerhouse trio of queens who are authors, book publishers, and community activists. They are making waves in the literary world and beyond. Amenna Scott, Tisha Winkler, and Miss Barbie Johnson are not just writers, they are advocates, speakers, and change makers. Each of them brings a unique voice and mission to their work, using storytelling as a tool for healing and empowerment, and also for transformation. They are currently gearing up for their highly anticipated DMV Book Signing Tour, which is kicking off on June 28th. So today we are walking in their light, traveling with them on their journey, and discussing their books and the impact that they're making in the community. If you're someone who believes in the power of resilience, faith, and storytelling, then this episode is for you. But before we begin this episode, I have to let you know this episode is brought to you by none other than Sons of SP Phillips. Go to www.sonsofspphillips.com to purchase new and slightly used designer and name brand clothing for men and women, a great selection of items, and also custom accessories, t-shirts, cups, bracelets, and more. So go to www.sonsofspphillips.com to 70% off and savings every day. And any purchases over $45 means I pay the shipping for you, so you cannot lose. Go to www.sonsofspphillips.com. All right, well, welcome, my sister queens. I want to welcome you all three to the Elephant Wisdom Podcast, and just want to let you know that I'm very happy to have you here. This is really big for me because you are my first panel discussion on our podcast today. And I'm really interested in what you guys have going on, and I'm loving the name, The Dynamic Three. And first thing I want to know is how you guys came up with that name. Sounds like there's a understory to it. So who's
Okay, well, actually, one day we were together. We were trying to find a name, and God said Dynamic Three. So we give God all the glory.
Okay. Y'all, you was laughing like, y'all was wrestling with people or something like that.
There is a story behind it because our stories are dynamic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take that. I don't want no stories coming up later like y'all was running in threes, running through the hood, knocking people out or something like that.
Well,
maybe back in the day.
Back in the day. Okay. All right. So I know each of you are aspiring artists, writers, and everything like that. So I would just like a backstory on each one of you. And we can go in alphabetical order. So, Amenna, if you want to go first and just kind of give us a backstory on who you are and what you're doing and the books that you're looking to write.
Well, I'm Amenna, and I'm from DC. Mm-hmm. And my book that I have is called The Perfect Life. And I have, I'm a behavioral health caseworker. Mm-hmm. I see all types of behavior health people. But it's a story behind this book, I'm telling you. So I was in the hospital for my migraines. And the only reason why God chose this book is because I'm gonna tell you, people go through so many stuff about on their relationships and marriages. And the thing about this book is all about people forgetting God. That God is the one that got you all these material things, these houses, these cars, these things, and then you forget about God, and then you forget to love yourself in the midst of everything. And your mind just focused on that one person that you're like you're in a delusion land. Like you don't want your life to be shattered until the very end, and then everything disappears. And now everything is about to disappear, even yourself. Come to an end.
Right. I understand because I think sometimes there's always this thing like we kind of take God for granted until we actually need him. And, sometimes it's good to always praise him in the forefront on any day, because I feel like any day, good or bad, it's a blessing. So I totally agree with what you're saying, and I love that story. Miss Barbie, So I understand you are a you have a book publishing company, and you're also writing a book as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us all about it.
Actually, I've written 10 books that have been published already.
Excuse me.
And 6 are
excuse me.
6 are in the waiting room.
Okay.
So, but my main book is From Trial to Affliction, and that is my life story.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose that book only because God sent 2 prophets to speak to me that didn't know me from Eve in regards to getting that book out there.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's my life story, but it was just funny how it happened. A friend of mine asked me to go to church with her. Yeah. I went, and I was the first one the prophet called out. He said, I forget what color dress I had on, with the whatever color. He said, come here. He said, did you write that book? I said, no, but I knew what he was talking about. He said, why? I said, well, I didn't think anyone would want to read it. So he said, no, that the devil made you stop because he wants to silence your voice. God said, write that book and tell your addiction. My addiction was not drug or alcohol, but you have to get the book in order to know what the addiction was, because there are different kinds of addiction.
Absolutely.
And yes, we need to be delivered from all of them.
Yes.
Not some of them, all of them. But my story is compelling, it's inspiring. You will laugh, you will cry, you will say, oh, no, she didn't. And oh, yes, I did, because I had to be delivered. I had a temper that a temper that landed me in jail for 3 days. You have to be delivered from some stuff. I had to be delivered from rage. It was past anger. It was rage. But God is a God that can do the impossible.
Yes.
If he can do it for me, he can do it for you.
Yes.
Because I was the one that I would bust your head to the white meat and dare you to believe. That was me. Yeah. This mild-mannered, cool, calm, collected lady. Yep, it was me.
Yeah.
Come on, a lot of us have rage out there, and some of them don't want to admit it. That's the first process in getting free. Admit it. Yes, I need help.
Absolutely.
I had to cry out to God. I needed help. But once I got behind those bars and reality set in, when those doors closed, reality set in, and the devil left me too. Yes, he did. He helped me get there, but he left me. Didn't speak another word to me once I was behind those doors. I said, God, you get me out of this one, I will never come back again. But I had to stay there for 3 days, and I never did go back, only to minister. That was it.
That's a wonderful story. I love the story of God and the love that you guys have and the lessons that you're learning. Miss Tisha, I'm eager to hear your story as well.
Oh, yes. My name is Tisha Winkler. I'm the author of, 3 books, and I'm in one book, an anthology book. My first book is called Just a Thought. It's a poetry book where Barbie Johnson published my first book. I have a second book, The Hopeful Romantic, is also a poetry book. And my third book is my life story. It tells you the beginning of my story, what I went through, molestation, even the good things in my life. But there's a lot of things that I went through, even bullying. And the anthology book that I'm in with best-selling author Melanie Bonita is called Daily Dose of Prayer. It's about 200 people that have prayers in the book. And also I'm working on 3 books, 2 children books and an extension to the Hopeful Romantic book. Just a Thought, when that first came out, for years I've been writing on my life since I was about 15 years old. So I had a lot of poems and everything. I had over 400 poems. So everybody at my job, my family and friends were always saying, write the book. But I was like, I'm not writing no book. And at the time, I thought I didn't have the resources, the money. And the funny thing about it, God is so amazing. I was working in the Head Start program as an assistant teacher, and Barbie Johnson was the teacher I worked with for 2 years. And during that time, she was publishing her first book. She wasn't even a publisher yet. So during that time, she started to be a publisher, and she asked me. No, she didn't ask me then. My mom had passed away. That's when God said, write the book. So Barbie Johnson wrote my first book, Just a Thought. And I gave her the time of her life when that book came out. Because my mom had just passed away, I was kind of, I was mean. I was going through a lot. I was hurt. Just a Thought, it's a book of poetry. It's about betrayal. It's about hurt. It's about people going through different challenges and abandonment issues, because I had a lot of abandonment issues going through that book. But it's a powerful poetry book because even when Barbie Johnson was writing the book, she had to change some words in the book because she said a lot of people was going to jump off the bridge. So I was going through a lot. She said she could tell when I was going through those suicidal moments. She could tell when I was depressed. She could tell when I was going through something. So I just thank God that even in my first book, even my second book, The Hopeful Romantic, it's more fluffy, it's more loving, it's like inspiring women and men that you can go through those healthy, loving relationships, and you can find Boaz for to find you, but you can have those healthy relationships that can lead to marriage. So I'm so grateful that God has allowed all three of us to write inspiring books that will set people free.
Okay.
That's beautiful. I love your stories.
All glory goes to God.
I love you. I love the spiritual love that you have here. It's really dynamic for the three of y'all. So I wanna ask you, because I know Tisha and Barbie, you two also do a podcast together, right?
Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
Tell us about this podcast.
Oh, Jesus.
It's called The Book Breakers. Oh God, we're laughing because there's another story behind that.
Okay.
How it got started. Because we thought I was looking for shoes, rather. But it turned out to be something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tisha.
Oh, yes. One day, well, this is a funny story. A lot of time, Barbie like, girl, shut up. But during the time, we weren't speaking for a while. You know how the devil, he have you in, he have you in disobedience. I'm like, I ain't calling her. She can call me. But I was like, God said call us. So I called her. So we went to Burlington shoe store. Barbie wanted to find some shoes because, she always loved shoes, So when we came out, we saw these flashing lights. And I was like, oh, Barbie, let's go down. That's an arcade. Let's go play some games. So we went down there, but Barbie kept saying she wanted to have some pictures for her books. So when we went down there, it said the Coyote Man Show Network. And not only did they have podcast shows, they had photo shoots. You can get pictures for your books. And so we signed up for a photo shoot. And I think we went there either a week later or 2 weeks later. We had our photo shoot. So the Coyote Man asked us, would you like to have a podcast on here? And at the time, I was stupid. I was like, what's a podcast? I ain't know what no podcast was. So he told us about it and everything. We were like, yeah. Barbie said she wanted to do it for fun? I wanted to do it because we was on television.
So we thought. She wanted to be cute. That's what that was. Oh my God. But once we got into it, that's when the Lord said, it's not about the people you bring on the podcast. It's about ministry.
Right.
And then we started thinking, oh my God, what he's called us into. And that's when we knew our destiny. It was his purpose. It was what he called us to.
Right. Because you never know with the podcasting thing, you never know who's listening. And I coach a lot of people on podcasting, and the first thing they want to know is how much money they make, how they make money, or how to monetize it. And I advise them, I said, if that's your only thing about it, then please don't do it because you're going to be disappointed. But if you feel like you have a voice or you have a platform and you want to educate the masses or you want to minister to somebody, I'd be more than happy to help you, because even though you may not get the numbers, you might be actually helping 1, 2, or 200 people. Because I've had people actually walk up to me here in my town, friends, and say, hey man, I just want you to know we're listening. People hear you. Or even my one buddy said, hey man, we need more from you, so keep doing it. So yes, podcasting is a wonderful thing, and if you got the love for it, if you want to do the work on it, by all means, jump on it. That's great. That's great. How many episodes have you done so far?
It's over a hundred and what? 9, 10?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
107.
Wow. So you guys been at it for how many years?
Almost 5 years.
This is
Or 4.
Okay.
Because actually, we left the Coyote Man Show Network. We actually been doing podcasting on our own for 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Now, Miss Scott, I have not left you out for no, not at all. So I was supposed to have Miss Scott on the Elephant Wisdom podcast a couple episodes ago, but she couldn't make it. So she had Queen Arlena. Is that Carlina?
Yeah.
She had Queen. She had Queen Carlina step in for her, and we were talking about your program for the homeless. And now that I have you, go ahead and elaborate on your program, because I thought it was an awesome program. I got a lot of feedback on that.
This Work Housing Voucher Program is not just for homeless people. It's for everyone. You know, everyone that needs stability.
Okay.
Because in poverty, it's a lot of people out there in poverty. It's people that they building these apartment buildings, knowing that our people can't afford them.
Right.
A lot of people can't afford these high expensive properties. So I always wanted to look out for my people, and not just my people, but any people.
Right.
But I do want majority of the time look out for our people. I'm not, being discrimination or anything. But it seems like every time we do come at the low point of view all the time. And so Jesus Work is definitely about helping those that are in need with housing them. But the thing about my housing group, I wanted to have all types of programs, like grievances, like youth, teenagers, pregnancy, people that haven't, teenagers that are pregnant. If they runaways, I want all that in this program, because nobody shouldn't be out on the street, and they have get them educated, all this counseling and everything, and then have their apartment, make sure they stable up here to have their
right.
And then once they get that, hey, they'll have their apartment, and then in 3 years they should have enough to be on their own. That job, because we want them to have a job to be able to keep it.
Right.
So
Right.
So that's about the Jesus Works, and I love it. I love doing it. I mean, that's one of my things, to help people, inspire people. So I love doing it.
Right. That's a wonderful concept. I used to think of a similar concept that I wanted to do. I didn't follow through with it, of course, but I always look at people who need help. My sister actually was doing something similar. She had bought a new house and she kept her old house, and she got into some program where she could help at-risk women around, in the age, I think they were in the age group of 18 to 21 who had children, all that. And they were in this program, and they could rent out a room in a house and all that. So she would have maybe 4 or 5 girls in the house, and they had to maintain employment. Of course, there were some rules to the house, and it was pretty successful. But sometimes you can't make people do what they need to do, unfortunately.
Exactly.
It's like the old saying: you can take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So she put a lot of these girls in a position to get helped, but a lot of them didn't want the help for whatever reason. But hopefully God blesses them and takes care of them on their journey. It's awesome. You guys really have some awesome stories. Miss Barbie, I want to ask you about your publishing company. So how did that get started, and how can someone reach out? Well, we'll get to the part of reach out to you, but how did that get started, and how do you get people on board to write the books and get them out there and their books circulating?
Well, that got started. The business got started after I had written my first book.
Okay.
Because I did not feel like I was an author until I literally had that first book in my hand. And then reality set in, like, here it is. This
Mm-hmm.
is the fruit of your labor. This is reality. And so after that, but see, God had to do something in me, in my heart. Because once I got that first book out there, I didn't really want to write that book. I didn't, but my sister kept pushing me. She was my catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she had not pushed me, I probably would have been procrastinating until this day.
Mm-hmm.
Because she stayed on me every single week. Did you write something? You better write something. Get something. And I was journaling. She told me to journal. Just
Yes.
journal. She said, because your life is like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just write. And that's what I did. But so after I got that first book in my hand, and then it was at that point, God did it inside of me. I loved writing and I wanted to write
Mm-hmm.
then. And so that's when I started the business. I was still teaching in school at that time, and really not pursuing that dream so much on a daily basis.
Right.
But that is when I started BJ Publishing. It's BEEJAY, BJ Publishing LLC, which how do I get other people? Well, it was mainly by word of mouth, but they can go on the website and leave a message or a comment or something that a message for me and say what they want.
Okay.
And if they want the services, I will get back with them,
Okay.
and we take it from there. Um, I'm trying to remember if I have the pricing list on
Okay.
there or not. I can't even remember. I can't even remember. So, but
Okay.
that's how that.
Great. I'm enjoying this conversation because with all three of you, I feel like I have so much in common with Miss Amenna, wanting to help people and also being in that position to know people to help people in that way, and just having that desire to do it as well. With
Awesome.
Miss Barbie and Miss Tisha, we do the podcast, and we all write. I used to do a lot of writing back in my day. I used to write a lot of poetry because it was really key to my survival. Because I was at a point in my life where I had some. I'm not going to say they were addictions, but they were definitely some things that hindered my growth. And sometimes those things, mentally, those things can come back and just block what you're trying to do, and you just have to bring yourself down and just kind of move that out there. But then again, that's when you say the devil's trying to do something to you, you got to stop and kind of push that stuff away and figure everything out. And I was living in a city that just really wasn't a lot going on, and I was just kind of going through this transition, and I was at a point where I didn't think I was really going to see past the age of 30. Wow. And that's how deep things were for me. And I used to really write heavily, and I used to refer to poetry as a breath of life or another flow of blood in me because it kept me going. And I used to really get into it. And I wrote a couple stories, so I might be getting on with BJ Publishing here pretty soon. We'll see.
Go ahead. BJ Publishing.
The dynamic four. I might get in on that. So tell me.
Look, he need to write his story. Sound like he have some change he can break in someone else's life.
Oh, I've got some stories, but I might hurt some feelings. So I can change some names and get it out there. Yeah. So you guys have a book tour coming up June 8th. So tell us about this book tour.
June 28th.
What did I say?
June
28th. I'm sorry. Tell us all about it.
Go ahead, Amenna.
Take it away, Amenna.
All right, I got twin vibes. Yay! Okay. We start our book tour. We start in Baltimore City. Then we're gonna hit Maryland. Then while in stop is gonna be in DC. Yeah, DC.
All
And
right.
so much fun. I mean, we looking for and what we looking for? We looking for people that want us to come to their churches, their bookstores, their coffee shops, all that to for us to book sign Maryland, Virginia, and DC. We calling all y'all out. I mean, and churches too. You know, even if you want us on the side, we could put like a table on the side where it don't have to be, on part of your property or whatever that is. And we'll just stay right there, but we calling everybody to let y'all know we coming to your city. We looking for sponsors. And if you want to, you want the Dynamic 3 there, you always email us at the Dynamic 3, that's 33 at gmail.com.
You said that last part so fast, we didn't hear it.
So,
Y'all didn't hear me?
well, you said it.
That last
You
part
said it pretty
for the
quick.
Dynamic 3.
It's the email is the Dynamic 333 at gmail.com.
Okay.
There you go.
We got it.
Yeah.
And
So
we're going to road
this
week.
Where you guys going this week?
Woo, tell them,
Yeah.
we're going to Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, okay. You'll be close to my neck of the woods. What are you guys doing? What's going on in Cleveland?
Well, we got an interview there. We got a TV show out there that we can be on, the Dynamic 3. Yay! In Cleveland.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay. Good.
So we leave to Wednesday. So we happy about it. We so happy about it.
That's
Thursday.
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 Okay. Make sure we get that link so we can push that out there for you.
Yes, thank you.
So definitely, so I can see it, because I actually live in Columbus. So
my aunt is there. That's where we're going at too.
Oh, call us up.
Yeah.
Call us up. See, if I knew that, you guys could have came to the Elephant Room Studios and we could have did this.
We could have.
Miss Barbie.
You know what?
Miss Barbie.
Do it the next.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, Miss Barbie wouldn't have delayed the process trying to get in. We could have just been right here.
We were knocking on the door.
Right. So, but
Let me in.
that's nice. See, there's a reason why we're having this podcast.
Yeah.
There's a reason for this. Because we have a connection now.
Yeah.
Definitely we have a spiritual connection. We have an artistic and creative connection. And now you guys are coming to Ohio to do things. So there's a reason for this. So
yes.
We're definitely here for you. So after the Cleveland visit, what's next?
Oh my God.
That's for the book break. That's not Dynamic 3. Barbie.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. 2 minutes.
Actually, we're going to be going to a Pastor Michael Radden's church. We got to get everything situated. We're going to be in Maryland, and we're going to do a book signing there for Maryland.
Okay. Okay. And you guys already have your stuff out, correct? The books and everybody can read.
Yes.
Okay, good. So it's incredible how storytelling just can create this ripple effect. Like I said, we have this connection. So what do you hope people get from the book tour, from your books, and anything from you? Just what are your expectations from the whole project?
I think the whole.
Well, my expectation for me. Go ahead.
I just want to say, I think I'm just fine. I couldn't see you. The whole expectation for me, I don't know, for myself, that people will be set free from our story and that they will be inspired, because a lot of times we go through things in our own personal lives, and sometimes we don't know that we can go through those. So I just think, and I hope that people be encouraged that even though we're going through the same thing they're going through, but we're getting through it, and they're going to be inspired about how powerful and how much impact we are making in our communities and other people's lives. So we just want people to stay encouraged. And when we come to your city, we want you to be encouraged that you can do the same thing that we're doing.
Okay.
So we were thinking along the same lines that it's to encourage people that they can make it through what they
Mhm.
think is a difficult situation, but God can deliver you out of anything. It doesn't matter what it is. It does not matter. It may be devastating to you, but to God, that's a light thing. And in the blink of an eye, boom, you can be delivered from it,
Right.
whatever it is. And then he takes away the pain and moves the scars and even wash away the residue that's left in you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that little anger and you don't know why it's there. That's residue.
Yes.
And ask him to clean you completely and get rid of the residue. And then you will not have a reaction behind someone who did you wrong, because you know you're over it when there is no reaction whatsoever in you by the mention of a name, by the hearing of a song. I mean, that brought about that difficulty
Mm-hmm.
that you went through. You know you're healed completely,
Yes.
and so people can be inspired and encouraged.
Okay.
I definitely agree with that. That's what we want to evolve, inspire, unite, because we want people to definitely unite. I mean, we want them to overcome it. If they see
Yeah.
us, they see that we overcame this, and the Father that's in heaven did it. We didn't do this on our
Mm-hmm.
own. We needed
Yes.
help. You see what I'm saying?
Help.
We needed Him to help. It's all about taking the first steps, and even though the first steps is hard, hey, trust and believe. God will give you that strength to do it. He will give you. All you gotta do is take the first step, and He'll do
Absolutely.
the rest. You just gotta trust in Him. And that's all I want. We want to do. We want to inspire them. We want to inspire them with our stories. Like I always say at each interview, when I speak about Miss Barbie and Tisha, I love them. I love their whole story. Teacher going through with her mom depression, and you never know, that could hit
Right.
somebody. Her going through anger, that could hit somebody, and it could be like, oh, I go through this too, and things. And then they like, oh, she overcame it. I see how she overcame it. Look how she overcame it. And see that she could be a great mentor for somebody else. And that's
Yeah.
exactly how we want to leave that effect on a person when we leave that city, that state. So, and I want y'all to know we also got a rock out.
Yeah,
Coming out.
we're a rap. Coming to you on Spotify pretty soon.
so you're
They not like it, okay?
so you guys are you're authors, writers, community activists, publishers, and rap artists.
And we freestyle sometimes too. We freestyle.
Oh, okay.
When we finish it.
Okay, I'll be looking for it. I'll do whatever I can to get you guys out there.
Oh God.
Hilarious. Let me ask you a question. So there could be any number of writers or authors listening to this episode, and some people are afraid to put their work out. Or I know I was for a while. I still kind of am. What kind of advice would you give someone who wants to put their work out as a creative but are just scared to do it?
Can I say that real quick? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I would say first thing, always have your stuff copywritten.
Yeah.
So anyone infringe on it, you can get your money back. I'm just saying.
Yes.
You got to protect your stuff. That's the first thing before you put it out there.
Yes.
Do that to protect it.
And I wanted to say, because this is from my perspective. I always had a hard time with the grammar and editing. And don't be intimidated because of how you talk or how you speak. Because I told Barbie a lot of times, girl, write that book. Because my grammar was off. Woo! Hallelujah! Thank you, Barbie.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And I say don't use. And man, my goal is never procrastinate. If it's something deep inside you, that it's you passionate about, and and you know your heart is, God put it there for you. You know this thing ain't going nowhere. It's fire right there. Don't procrastinate. Don't doubt it. Because as long as you put your faith forward, trust me and believe. I don't care if you don't got no money. It's going to
Yeah.
come. It's going to come. See, it's not about the money. It's about doing God's will. And see,
Yes.
people think about the money all the time, but it's about
Right.
God's will. I always go to Abraham when he was about to slay his son.
Mhm.
See, when he was about to slay his son, he didn't know that God was going to stop him right there. He was going to go through that thing and be like, "Oh, I can get another son or something." You never know with his mindset, but he had the faith to go through it, and that's what we have to have. Have to have the faith to go through it, even without the money.
Yeah.
Even without the money, God will give you vision, and all you gotta do is write it down, and everything else, walk
Yeah.
through it, and the doors will be
It takes
Yes.
sacrifice.
And a lot of time.
Right. Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, it definitely takes patience because, like I said, I do a lot of coaching myself. Whether it's, like I said, the podcasting and trying to help people start small businesses, and I think I spoke about this in one of my other episodes. How people are just like, the first thing is they're just quick to be at the end part. Nobody's patient for anything.
Mm.
Everybody
Mm.
wants results now, and unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. It does take work. There's no
Yeah, it
easy blueprint for anything. But one thing that can help you along those journeys is having faith and keeping
Yeah.
God first in what you're doing. So that
does.
will always help. So
Absolutely.
I want to ask you guys a few more questions, and I want to know from each one of you if there's a book that you read, what that you've read, or even a poem that may have changed your life.
Mm.
Oh my
Wow.
God. Mm.
Oh,
See, that was a
All right.
yeah, but
couple
no,
of
but
Think-
listen, but
sounds like we're about to have some church up in here.
There's a book by Kenneth Hagin.
Kenneth Hagin.
It's called I gotta get it right. It's called Slain for the Anointing, or the Anointing that slayed. In other words, the sacrifice on the altar. You have to die for that anointing. In other words, the words tell us to die daily to this flesh. You got to get rid of this flesh. This flesh cannot be your master. The spirit has to be your master,
Right.
because this flesh, God is this is just a shell that houses the spirit, and God isn't too pleased on the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
He wants us to be in the spirit. And there was another book by Rick Rayner called Dressed to Kill. And that's talking about putting on the whole armor of God, every piece of the armor that you need, and what is there for. You need to know how to use your armor as a skilled warrior. Because if you don't know how to fight the battle, the devil's going to kick your butt.
yeah.
So, and if you don't know what your armor protects and why it's there, come on, he can take a piece off of you, and you are exposed. But that book, that changed my life. That changed my life. And it also let me know sometimes we can't take that armor off. You have to polish that armor up while it's on you.
Right.
Yeah.
While it's on you, because when you're in the battle and battling the enemy, it's not just gonna, okay, for one day. You think the enemy's gonna let up? No. He is constant. Go back and go to Job. He will constantly bombard you to get you off track, to mess up your mind, because the battle is in the mind too, to mess up your head. If he can get that head, then he got you.
Right.
He got you.
Well, my favorite, my favorite two books. I mean, for me, it is. I like No More Sheets by Juanita Bynum, And Maya Angelou, Eight Out of Woman. I can say no more sheets because I used to be between the sheets.
No, expose it.
By your testimony, they will be free. So I read the book. I listened to the audio. I don't know might have been like 40 times, and it really inspired me and encouraged me as a woman and as a godly woman that I deserve better, and I am who God says I am. And Maya Angelou, Eight Out of Woman, really gave me confidence during those times when I had low self-esteem and I didn't love myself. So I still continue to read Maya Angelou books. I love her poems, and it really inspires my life.
Myself, I'm gonna say, my nana, who is in my church, mother of the church. Her story really touched me because she went through a lot of quite familiar stuff that I went through, like abandonment. She was very quiet. And I know a lot of people don't think that I was, but I was very timid back in the day. As a young woman, I'm not as trimmer as I was because I used to get bullied all the time and had to go through some things. I had to, my brother slash cousin had to pass for me to toughen up, and I got bullied by a teacher, So
God.
I had to really go through some stuff dealing with older women. Very touching. Her book was very touching to me because she basically the stuff that I went through and everything like that. I can't say a lot over the podcast, but like I said, things that she been through, it kind of touches me from where I've been through, and it kind of takes me, yeah, okay, Mina, since she been through it, you could get over this too, and then you gotta face some things. So I had to face some things, and even today, I still have to face some things, but I'm not as timid as I used to be. I'm not as timid as I used to be.
Okay.
Or like slaying the sword or something. But I try my best. I try my best to not as well be as timid and as fear of any type of person as I used to be. Like I said, when my brother slash cousin died, I was very scared of. He used to always fight my battles for me, and now I have to let God fight my battles. And that book taught me how to be bold in a lot of ways, And I love her before her story. If I didn't get that story, telling you, I'm timid as a mouse.
Right.
Wow.
And
I'm so timid as a mouse if I did not hear the story.
And what was the name of that book again? Because somebody had an emergency that just drove by and we didn't hear the title.
Her name is Carolyn Mitchell.
Carolyn Mitchell.
It's just Carolyn Mitchell. Her story is on Amazon. It's her life story, and it tells everything. Everything. And I love that. When she first gave it to me, she even signed it and gave it to me. And I'm so thrilled about this because I'm like, I didn't even have no money to purchase the book. And she just gave it to me for the whim. And knowing that I was so newly in church, I was just starting to come to church. I just a couple of days, let me say about a month or two, I was just still in like depression mode because I just had a suicidal battle, fighting that suicidal battle within me. So I died and came back alive from that. So I needed something. I was crying for something. And when I read that book, I'm telling you, it brought me like into tears because I was like, oh, I'm thinking that I'm the only one. And that's what I mean by when you read something or hear something, you think that you're the only one, the one that's isolated all the time, and think that, oh wow, you've been through it, and you're up there, but you've been through it,
Right.
And so I look at her, I'm like, and that's the only person really I be talking to at my church. I'm so close to my nana, and I be like, oh my goodness, I didn't know you. She always talking to me. She be like, I can't believe you're so much like me, but you want to come out your shell. You guys know that?
Let me ask one question real quick. Which one of you guys are a minister and has? I knew it. I knew it, Miss Johnson. I knew it. And are you also a PK?
Now you have to tell me what a PK is.
Preacher's kid.
Public speak. Oh Jesus.
No. Okay.
No.
All right. Because I'm.
Wait a minute, but well, she wasn't a preacher, but she surely my mother.
Okay.
She made us go to church.
Okay.
You were out that door. Every Sunday.
Because I'm hearing it. Everybody's saying it, and I'm hearing it, and I'm seeing it, and there's a lot of background in what you guys are saying. So I said somebody is a minister or somebody grew up in the church or something, because I'm picking up on it. So I had a feeling.
Oh, and I want to make a correction to that book. That book was Sacrificial Lamb, but it was still talking about that on the altar. Okay, I just wanted to make that correction by Kenneth Hagin.
Sacrificial Lamb.
I couldn't remember that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all of us are ministers. No. I'm not an ordained minister, but I am a prophet.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Like I said, I can hear it because my father, grandfather, great grandfather were all ministers. So, wow. You know, when you hear that, when you hear it and you see it, you know. And right now, my sister and brother-in-law are ministers. They actually minister in my father's church because he passed away. And I also have an uncle who was a minister. So I got an anointed bloodline there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait a minute. So, do your footsteps follow in that?
Yeah.
Let me say this. I haven't been called yet. So. Okay. But I do know what I know, and sometimes Sometimes you got to pull some people on some things, ministers and non-ministers. Like, it's not right. That's not scripture. You know, you got to read before, you got to read after if you want to say stuff. So I get people on that because they try to make up stuff. I said, well, did you read before that? The chapter before that? Did you read the chapter after that? No, I ain't read that. I said, well, then we ain't got no conversation. Just going over there. Just a couple more questions because, you know, this is great. This is fun conversation. What is the best piece of advice each one of you have ever received?
Oh, my God.
Miss Johnson, Miss Barbie, what's the problem? Remain humble.
Yeah, okay. Because a lot of times, when God He starts to give you, more territory and more manifestation. Just like sometimes it gets to your head. Because God had to tell me one time, He said, daughter, you walking in pride. I'm like, me? Walking in pride? I'm not walking in pride. He said, you kind of think you're better than people sometimes. I was like, oh Lord, I don't want to do that. So that really grounded me to always stay humble, even when God sent the movie producers and all these different people to the Book Breakers podcast, always remain humble because God said, as you remain humble, more doors will be open.
I would say, me, myself, I just had as like I always say, my little chat. But my, Jennifer, I call her I always talk about Queen Jennifer as my story. And I always say that because she just everything, and she was just talking to me, I've been dealing with a lot, just a lot, so she was just talking to me earlier today. And it's funny you asked that question because the day she asked me about the question that, I've been struggling with, right? And I told her that was bothering me, so this week was my dad's birthday party. And I haven't really been spending a lot of time with my sisters, right? So, I'm the baby in the family. So my older sisters, and so I'm dealing with a lot with them. Mm-hmm. It's not just them, but it's whoever they with. Okay. And I have a problem with one of my sisters that, so I deal with. So I went to my sister about the advice I should do. It's not that he disrespected me once, but he disrespected me twice. And now the problem is I have to tell my sister, which I don't want to hurt her feelings. You see, and it comes to the day you have to love yourself. You can't think about other people's feelings. You have to love yourself and not think about other people's feelings. So the advice that I'm saying today is that is so true advice, because even though you put others first, you definitely have to love yourself as well. Because if you stop, how you going to love others and yourself be drained? You know what I'm saying? They draining you instead of you pulling out. You can't pull out to nobody if you're drained. So I'm just saying so for that today she pulled into me. So that right there meant a lot to me, is to love myself, even though I love my sister a whole lot and I don't want her life to be shattered, but I have to tell her what's going on, why I don't do this and why I don't do that. So I think love yourself is a big, then you can love others.
Amen.
Okay. Miss Barbie, I'm waiting.
You know, he gave me that scripture. He said, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. In other words, in essence, what Tisha had said about being humble, that is what the Lord was saying to me. Because I literally took the word for what it said and what it meant to me at the time. For me, there was no gray in between. It was either black or white.
Right.
You were going to hell or you were going to heaven. That was my take. So God had to soften me. He had to soften me with that. In regards to, people can have a second chance or a third chance or whatever it takes, but not with me, because I put you, boom, heaven or hell. There's no in between.
Right.
That was it. So, Lord, I said, your word said this, God. But he had to let me know that the word doesn't literally means exactly what we think it means. All right, let's go back when he told Adam and Eve not to eat of the fruit. He said, oh, surely you will die.
Right.
But that didn't mean, well, they would have a physical death down the line, but it meant a spiritual death. So that's what we have to draw the line when God is speaking in terms of of stuff like that, and even when we're dealing with people, we have to rightly divide the word, because sometimes we put the wrong twist on it. I know that's what I was doing, and he had to get me to see that.
Right.
So when he and that's what I pray now, Lord, enlighten my eyes that I will know. I want to know the mysteries of your word. So enlighten me. So it doesn't literally mean what it reads all the time.
Right. Fantastic.
So staying humble is a key.
Staying humble.
Stay humble.
Okay.
And be teachable.
Oh, yes, that's a big one. Yes.
Be humble and be teachable.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
teachable is the goal right there, because
being
how to be teachable.
Yeah. Being teachable, that has some depth to it, because a lot of people aren't open to that. Because when you say that, that means you have to learn something new, or you have to learn to be a new way. And some people don't like to know that something's wrong with them, or we have flaws. We have flaws, and there's I used to, didn't always, but I do so more now over the last couple of years since I've been getting older, that I approach things with a more open mind, because every moment is a teachable moment for me. There's always something I don't know. No matter how many books I read, how much TV I watch, or how many documentaries, there's always something I don't know. And then when you have people out here who aren't humble and who aren't teachable, especially on social media, they just get out there kicking nonsense, and then they're messing everybody up.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for all that. So, one last question. I want you guys to describe this DMV Book Signing Tour in one word.
Oh, Jesus. I know Barbie she gonna get my word.
Dynamic.
Dynamic.
Fabulous.
Fabulous, dynamic, fabulous. Miss Amenna, we need one from you.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Okay.
Phenomenal.
All right. Oh my goodness, Sister Queens, this has been a great episode. I really enjoyed myself. I wish we could do it all night, but of course we can't. I want each one of you to take some time to give some information. First, I want you to give somebody, whoever's listening, your own personal words of inspiration. And I also want you to give your information where somebody can either follow you on social media or contact you. Whoever wants to go first.
Okay.
Okay, I go. Go first.
Oh yeah, my name is Tisha Winkler. I want to give the audience out there inspirational word. Never give up. Even though when you go through your own storms in your life, know that you can hold on and that tomorrow will be a brighter day. I can be reached on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and I also do promotions on the side for like gospel artists and different business and entrepreneurs. And I have 3 books, Just a Thought, but The Hopeful Romantic and my life story, My Journey Here Was Not Easy, is on Amazon, the book and the ebook.
Miss Barbie.
Well, I'm Barbie Johnson. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. You can also reach me at bejpublishing.com. That's BEEJAY. Publishing.com. Leave a message and I will get back to you.
And what's your words of inspiration?
My words of inspiration, getting tongue tied, y'all. My words of inspiration is you are never too young or too old to accomplish your dream. If that desire is in you, fulfill it. Fulfill it.
Excellent.
Because you never know who needs what you have to offer.
Excellent. Miss Scott.
Well, I'm at Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I'm all over. And LinkedIn. But you can mainly find me on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. Okay. And you could contact, if you want to contact me, or any one of us for real, you could contact us at the dynamic 333@gmail.com. And for the inspiration, for that, I would say never give up on anything. Always, I'm talking about within yourself. With yourself. Work on yourself first before you go towards anything in life. Start getting your healing on. Start getting your healing within yourself first, because it's within that counts. It's better than within than the outer appearance. What shows within is going to show without. So always work within. That love inside of you will come out to the front. So always work within that healing. Always need that. You need that healing, because that healing will bring out the best of you in whatever that you do.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, again, I want to thank you, ladies, for coming on the Elephant Wisdom Podcast. And for our listeners, if today's conversation moved you, you're so welcome. If today's conversation moved you, make sure to support the Dynamic 3, because you guys also have a Facebook page.
Yes.
Make sure to support the Dynamic 3 on their book tour. Grab their books, follow their journey, and most importantly, remember, your story matters as well. I think that's one of the key messages that they've been putting out. Don't forget to subscribe to the Elephant Wisdom Podcast, or subscribe, like, and follow whichever platform you're on. And always remember that the Elephant Wisdom Podcast is your podcast for motivation, inspiration, and domination. So dominate or don't. It's up to you. And every day when you wake up and before you go to sleep, as my father always said, make sure you pray along the way. So to the next time, keep seeking wisdom, keep telling your story, and keep making a dynamic impact. See you next time.
Bye.